unfortunately for the community we live in, there's not enough work here, you know, every 10 years to keep us busy. And right now there is, but it wouldn't be very fun to live here if we got hit like we did last year every year. So we have trailers that are set up, some for supply storage, some that are set up for communication and command, some that are set up for different types of equipment, so that we can get stuff and other resources where it needs to be, and then get it out of there if it needs to move. For instance, in this last storm, we had to go where we thought things were going to be really active and then move them up here. One year in Florida, I remember, finishing up and packing up at the end of Hurricane Charlie work and waiting to figure out where, I don't remember what letter of hurricane it was that year, but there were 4 while we were down in the peninsula. And so, we moved around and, had to update people. Sam, I think somebody talked about renting items, but sometimes you need to figure out, do we want to own this or do we want to rent this? Will we need this enough to own, or do we just need to have this in time? One of those things is, for a generator for your business. You may not want to have a generator all the time. Some businesses it's a good idea. Some businesses it doesn't fit their plan. So you have a supplier for that. Sometimes you have to get over your competitive ego and say, how can we work together on it? For instance, downtown, we're still doing some work at the Wortham Center. Service Master and another well-known company cooperated on a project there. And so if you drove downtown during the months of October, maybe into November, you would see this huge work tent with both of the logos on it, and it was a little shocking at first. And once I got over it, I realized, that's really cool. We did what was right for the customer, and I'm pretty sure that both companies benefited greatly from it by getting over things, doing business. All right, taking action. It's important to have a team that can kind of be the champions of what are we going to do to be ready. That are working on it, like many of y'all said, 12 months a year. We don't know. My father-in-law is a small town independent insurance agent. He always tells me about customers that find out they don't have coverage for a certain item when they finally paid attention to it, and he says, well, I think you want to get that on your policy, and say, well, we don't plan on having that. We don't plan on having a fire, or well, if you planned on it, it wouldn't be an emergency. And my joke always is, if you plan on it, it's fraud. So all right, so if you're going to plan on it that way, plan it really well. You want to kind of lay out as many options as you can of what could happen, what could go wrong. Find those people in your team that are the worriers, that are the head scratchers, that are the minutia focusers, and instead of being annoyed at them, put them to work. That's why they have those skills, and that's why you've got them there. And line that up with what's your main mission. What are we here for? Why are we doing this? And how do we make that function, when things go crazy? Disaster call roster, and I think some people cover this well, but it's extremely important to have a plan, not just for the business, but for the people, so that you know how to keep track of them, to get them thinking about, particularly in our business, we need to have our people realizing, get yourself in order so that you can go out and take care of things. We were very fortunate. I think of all of our staff, only one person had any direct damage. He lost his apartment and his vehicle, but everybody else came out of it pretty clean. Fortunately for him, we were able to help him, and we had a vehicle that we needed him to drive back and forth for wherever he's staying, so that he could make plenty of extra money during that time and get himself back on his feet. All right, the outside team, make sure that you have your resources that handle your communications. and again here, be layered. Your electrician and your plumber and your HVAC guy are probably going to be very, very busy. And the other thing that I think is important to remember about that layering, if you have a commodity that you use enough of, you might not want to have your plan A be like 95% and your plan B be 5%, because most businesses are going to take care of their best customers first. And it's hard to look at people and tell them that during the height of it, but we all would do that, if given a choice, you're going to take care of your customers that are there for you all the time. So I try to spread it around so that when my number rings up for them, that they know who I am. Anything I should add, Mark? What's going to happen? What are we going to do about it? And what can we do ahead of time to be prepared? Thank you.
All right, questions, comments, snide remarks. Anyone? Yes, sir.
Are you going to talk about equity line of credit?
No, we're not going to talk about equity line of credit.
I think that's a good idea.
Oh. Well, yeah, but that's a good point. But definitely talk to your banker on that, as I am not a banker. So, but yeah, I mean, the line of credit. You guys know, everyone outside of the bubble keeps working. We got a phone call. So we lost the first 2 weeks of sports. The third week, we had our scheduled game was in New Orleans. Okay, problem was, you remember how hard it was to get from Houston to New Orleans after the flooding? And so it seemed like just the simplest thing to get about 25 people from Houston to there safely. It was a challenge. So the plans are for sure. Let me tell you something really real important, and we'll wrap up and take question two after I take the statement. But our chamber, led by our president, Jenna Armstrong, the week after the hurricane, our executive team of the board met, and Jenna laid out a proposed plan that was phenomenal, and she was asking for us to approve it so that we could move forward with it. And for me, it was way over my head. Couldn't even believe all the things she was talking about that we needed to do. But she had it. We locked and loaded, and we went forward with it. And to this day, our chamber has done a phenomenal job of helping businesses, not only immediately, the immediate needs that they had, midterm, long-term needs that they need, but also with this community and everything that this chamber has done to help our community get back up on track. I was looking at the Back to Business logo right there. That was a huge effort. But the only organization I knew that was actively helping companies with grants to get back up on board. So our chamber has just done a phenomenal job, thanks to our leader, Jenna. So I just wanted to mention that too. So part of the things that we did in there was to say, hey, let's help our businesses not go through this again. Let's do a little bit of disaster preparedness so that we can move forward. All right. Any questions? Yes, we got to take one question. Come on. Anything. Yes, sir. Yes. For Chris. Come on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, he got stranded alone. He was stuck in the store by himself a couple hours. And then we had another employee that her whole family got stuck in another Walgreens. That was the only place they could get to that was safe. We wound up planning to go in with kayaks to get them out because that was the only way that we could go with the Security Operations Center to get them out. So, yeah, he was fine. Both families were fine. Just was a crazy event that was on there. While I'm back up here again, one thing I forgot to mention is that as the company, one of the pressures that we saw, and you guys probably saw the same thing, right, is get open and get open now. You've got to be open right now. I need my medication. I need blank, right? I need my IT backup. I need everything back up. One of the things that we did for our area was we said we're not going to open every Walgreens back up as soon as the power comes back on. So if you saw there were several stores that had power on, they were still sitting there closed. Now some of that was because we took a lot of the product out. But the other part of that was is that we didn't have enough team members to open 14 stores because they were dealing with their houses. They were dealing with family issues. So we really looked at our employees and said, we only have 15 employees. That's 2 stores. We're opening 2 stores. We went with 2 stores until we had 30 employees that we could open 2 more stores. So there's really a pressure there to get open now because everybody needs us. Yes, they need you. The employees need you. But there's still a safety issue to make sure that you're sitting through and talking through that pre-planning piece of what do we need to do to take care of us when we come back up. So that was the only part I forgot. So thanks.
Yep. Go ahead.
A couple of years ago, we put cameras inside our business, and we're a small business, is all I know. But if you can put a camera in your business, that's one of the best things you can do. One thing I was able to do was get the winds of power there was to be able to go on my phone. I was stuck in Georgia, and I could go on my phone and I could at least see inside the building to know if the water would come out.
Yeah, that is really, and you can use that year round. You don't have to wait for a disaster. And there are businesses here that can help set you up with all of that kind of stuff for sure. It's a huge advantage to be able to know when to go in and get help and rescue. And when people are literally stuck inside the doors, that's crazy scary. Thanks for coming. This event will be available online if you want to share it with some of your friends and stuff like that. Thanks so much. Stick around, ask questions, talk to us, and we will see you guys soon. That'll complete our event. Thanks.